That's huge, but I don't think Nagy's been able to develop a rhythm play calling all year. So I
Now,
mean, if
go ahead.
go ahead, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, outside of the Bears, are you just an overall Chicago fan? You with the Cubbies and the Blackhawks, or are you a White Sox fan?
I
Outside
I
of
I'm a Chicago sports fan. You know,
okay,
I try not to you know, especially with baseball. You know, you can't really. I mean, there's the diehard Cubs fans and the diehard White Sox fans that say, "Oh, well, you can't root for one and root for the other," and it's just like, no, dude, I'm a Chicago sports fan. You know,
okay,
I'm gonna pull for the teams. You know, I mean, great. The Cubs have done. You know, the Cubs have been absolutely miraculous for the last 5 years, but it doesn't mean that I'm not a Sox fan. It doesn't mean that I'm not paying attention to what's happening on the South Side. And their team, actually, the White Sox are a team that I think are maybe a pitcher or two away from contention.
yes. Well,
You know, I
they're
mean,
they're young. The White
go.
Sox are a young.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, they're a real young team, dude, and that's you know that's what you like about them. You know, they actually, you know, it's so talked about all the time, but if you don't have a good farm system, you're not going to be a good team because you can't spend, you know, you can't spend and spend and spend and have a $200 million payroll like the Yankees and not have anything in your farm system to come up, you know. I mean, that's just the real thing as far as baseball goes, and it's getting to be like that in the NBA. If the D League ever actually panned out, you know, you'd have a minor league system for basketball. You know, I mean, farm systems are utilized all the way across pro sports. I mean, hockey's the same way. Basketball, like I said, with the D League, baseball, of course, with the farm system. You know, as far as football goes, I mean, you know, you're talking, you're either, you know, you don't have them, and you're either really good in college and you're going to get noticed, and then you have to perform in the NFL, or you're flying underneath the radar, and you get picked somewhere in the fifth, sixth, seventh round, and you hope to get your shot. And you know, if you're good athletically, I mean, you know, not even bringing up the reference, but bringing up the reference. You look at a guy like Tom Brady, didn't even get picked till the sixth round. No one gave him a shot. As soon as he gets a shot in the correct situation, you know, he's got a Hall of Fame career. He's won 6 Super Bowl rings. Yes, they're a team accomplishment, but that, you know, the whole thing with that is, you know, football more than any other will give credit to your main guy. Like the quarterback, they're unfair, you know, credit or no credit. They're the ones that get the props for a win or the hype for a loss.
Correct. They're
You know, and
ones they end up pointing the finger at. Yes, I agree with you on that.
right.
But I
Right.
mean,
So I mean,
go ahead.
you know, but so now, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I really don't think the Bears are like a wild card. I don't see it unless it rapidly improves in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Right.
You know, and I mean, there's tough games for them coming. You know, we got the Rams on Sunday. You know, the schedule doesn't get any easier for Chicago. In fact, it gets more brutal for Chicago.
Well, I mean, speaking of the game you guys got coming up next Sunday and I think you guys the 8:00 game next Sunday night? And I think that's what I saw last
Yes,
night.
I believe so. I believe so.
The Rams got beat yesterday by the Steelers, who I think a lot of people kind of
by the Steelers,
first 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
17-12.
Yeah, they were
rode
off.
17-12, and I think with the Rams, I thought that I think everybody got really hyped that they were able to pick up Jalen Ramsey, but offensively they haven't been good all year.
Well, I mean, you can actually see it since the Super Bowl because the Patriots slowed them down in the Super Bowl, so you can go back and look at that and say,
well, yeah, you can go.
Yeah.
You can go all the way back to when we played the Rams last year when we won 15-6. Fangio in that game played two deep safety almost the whole game.
Yes.
And said, here, feast in the middle, feast on short passes, feast on the dink and dunk, but you're not going to get anything over the top because we have people back there. And it worked. Goff tried to sit there, and, you've seen in the second and third quarter in that game, he was taking deep shots, and they weren't working because that's how they were playing him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it all comes down to how you scheme that Rams offense.
Right. Well, I mean, the reason that I bring that up, Dave, is, you guys played well yesterday, came back, to beat the Lions. And the thing is, I think if they can go in with the same momentum as they did yesterday, they have a shot at taking again, like you said, the schedule doesn't get any easier for the Bears at all. Let me pull it up real quick. I don't even know. I have NFL's website. Let me pull the Bears schedule up real quick, and let's go through it. The final 8 games that are left on the schedule for Chicago. So you got the Rams coming up Saturday, or excuse me, not Saturday, Sunday night. So let's see.
Yeah, now that's gonna be a tough game. Like you say, if the Bears can bring the momentum that they have from the Detroit game into that game, the one thing that really confuses me about Nagy this year, and I think a lot of Chicago fans, is Nagy's. It seems like Nagy has a refusal to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes no sense. You don't trade away a guy like Jordan Howard, who has been great in Philadelphia, but he also has a fullback in front of him and an offensive line. And, Chicago pulls Holtz out from a tight end spot and has him in the backfield, and Montgomery's able to go off because he's got holes in front of him. And it baffles me. It baffles me that Nagy has refused to develop that part of the offense.
All right, so Dave, they have the Rams coming up this Sunday night. Then they're at home against the Giants. That game, you guys should win because the Giants are all
that game we should win.
Sure.
But you know what? It seems like every time we played the Giants the last couple of years, it just hasn't, for whatever reason, hasn't worked out for us. And I don't really get that, but it's a winnable game. It depends on what they do with the Rams on Sunday. That's going to be a huge game. That's going to really decide whether the Bears are going to somehow fight for a playoff spot or it will be, after Rand. Because I don't think, with the way that the Packers are playing, with the way Minnesota's playing, that you're going to have more than 6 losses and be able to contend for a playoff spot.
Right.
I think 11-5 is going to be the absolute cut.
Because then, after that, they go back to play the Lions. They're on the road. So you guys beat them yesterday.
Yeah, the Lions on Thanksgiving.
Correct. And
the Lions on Thanksgiving, which I
– Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that's the annual thing for Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, and do you know coincidentally that since the Lions play so much on Thanksgiving that they actually have a losing record on Thanksgiving for history?
Yeah, that they do. Yes, they do.
I mean, why do you keep giving them a game that they're losing? Why don't you why don't you have Green Bay play somebody on Thanksgiving? Dallas has already started to do it. Hey, Detroit, we're going to give you a break. Let's have a Green Bay, Minnesota game on Thanksgiving.
That would be great too.
I mean,
they could change it around. But again, I think sometimes, Dave, with the NFL, they're stuck in their ways because you live up in the Midwest. I'm from Florida. I'm born and raised in the States.
Right.
So I grew up in the Midwest. And the very first year that they take the Lions off on Thanksgiving Day, their fans would riot. But they didn't have a Thanksgiving
Day.
Day.
Their fans would riot hard. their fans would riot hardcore, but then, like I said, you have a losing record on Thanksgiving. It doesn't make no sense for you to continually beat yourself into the wall because you have a game on Thanksgiving. You know what? I'm sure they might riot, but I'm sure those Detroit players would go, "Whew, damn! Thank God we don't have to play on Thanksgiving."
Oh yeah, we don't have
we
to
can
travel.
actually sit at home. We can sit at home with our families. What's that?
Exactly. No, yeah. I was
Okay,
gonna say.
so I got the rest of the schedule with you. After Detroit, Dallas and Chicago, that should be a good game.
Well, the
that
final
should
four
be a good game, depending.
Yeah, final 4 games are going to be tough for you guys, from my perspective.
Dallas, and then at Green Bay, then Kansas City, and at Minnesota.
Yeah, those will be tough.
Kansas City. Kansas City's going to be a tough game, but it's the whole thing with Kansas City. I mean, imagine if Patrick Mahomes had a defense.
Yeah, true.
They talk about him now, already with the MVP and the elite status, and that's all fine and dandy, but he's not going to be able to outscore teams his whole career. Kansas City has to put a defense in there. Otherwise, they're going to waste his career.
Correct. I agree. Again, if you rewind back to the AFC Championship game, their defense got tired. You could tell. I don't know why Andy Reid called a timeout there to give his group a break. He didn't do it, and Burkhead scores the touchdown, and the rest is history. But the whole thing is, you're exactly right. If they don't get a defense in Kansas City very soon, you're wasting away. Potentially could be, he'll be a great quarterback anyway, but potentially could be a great quarterback or one of the best quarterbacks ever if you have a defense to go with it.
Yeah. Yes, it's the same thing with same thing with Rodgers in Green Bay.
Right.
In fact, you can talk to a Green Bay fan about it and be like, dude, look, you had 2 absolute superstar quarterbacks, yet you've only got 2 Super Bowl wins between them. And you get the Green Bay fan, and the Green Bay fan goes, oh, well, at least they got one. Well, that's not the point. No one debates that Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, but why would you have that great quarterback and not spend money year in and year out on your defense?
Well, you could think back too, Dave. I could think back to the Reggie White days. They had decent defenses in Green Bay, but not so much for Aaron, and not so. Favre, he was just a different style quarterback, in my opinion. Again, I'm still young.
Yeah.
I'm in my 30s, but it comes down.
I'm in my 50s.
It comes down to the point where, he was just. Favre was an enigma, in a way to say that, in a good way, not negative. But he, they beat the Patriots in '96. That was before Brady got drafted. Drew Bledsoe was our quarterback. And, it comes down to the point where now, you're exactly right. If you don't see, that's the whole thing. Here, living in Tampa all my life, and yes, the Buccaneers have a championship. They won in shortly after I graduated high school. But here's the thing, how they won their title. They didn't win their title offensively. The Bucs won their title that year on defense. They had one of the greatest defenses I think I've ever seen, with Sapp and Brooks and Barber and Lynch, just to name a few.
Right.
But defense, what won them that? A lot of people will point the finger and say, well, no, it's because you got John Gruden and he knew everything about the Raiders and the Raiders didn't change anything.
Which he did.
That's true. I'm not disagreeing with that thing. But on the flip side, if you're Bill Callahan, at the time was the head coach, so I'm just saying, you're exactly right. I think it comes down to, if you have a great quarterback, say like a Brady or a Rodgers or a Mahomes or whoever that's out there, or like Russell Wilson, who right now, if you want to point the finger, he's doing it all for the Seahawks too, because they don't have a defense either in Seattle, from what I've been watching.
Yeah, they don't have anything, It's surprising that Seattle has no defense after they traded for Jadeveon Clowney. It's surprising to see that Clowney hasn't been able to do anything there. That's been real surprising for me. I mean, I'm a